Welcome to the Hustle Wing podcast. Today we are joined by Godson Inikori, and he's going to chat to us today about QuickGredient. We're going to get to know him. We're going to get to know his company. We're going to have an all-round nice time. So, thank you so much for joining us today, Godson. How you doing?
Doing well. Staying warm here in Texas.
Nice, nice. Okay, you're one of the few people that are still warm, so enjoy
Yeah.
it. All right. So, what is QuickGredient?
Yeah. So quick gradients, kind of give the context. There's a lot of uncertainty around restaurant menu ingredients for foodies, I guess, or really just diners with restrictive diets.
Yeah.
And so these can be people who it could be for food, like food allergies, like if you're lactose or have nut allergies, or if you're gluten free, or you're vegan, or maybe your religion doesn't allow you to eat pork, right? Whatever your reasons are, these people, if they compromise on their diets, it can deeply conflict with their values or
Yeah.
be life threatening. And so, Quick Gradients essentially debuts to help these diners go in and set their dietary profiles of ingredient preferences or restrictions. And then we partner with restaurants to build out extensive ingredient menus so that we can parse that information and promote foods that adhere to these diners, foods that adhere to their diets to these diners.
Okay. So, is it like an app?
Yes, it's a web application. Yes. And then ideally a mobile app down the line.
Okay, so how would you, what's the practicality? How would you use it like day to day?
So diners have two sets of customers, right? The diners would go in and once they can either set a profile, and so they can set like customize their ingredient preferences or restrictions,
Okay.
or we'll actually have a list of popular dietary profiles to choose from. Like I mentioned, some of the ones I already mentioned, right? Vegan, gluten free, lactose intolerant, and so on and so forth. So they can either choose from a popular list and then or set their preferences, and then they'll be promoted. Uh, they'll have foods that adhere to that diet promoted to them locally. It'll be arranged. They can arrange it by category as well, like
Yeah.
maybe bakery items or breakfast or
Yeah.
stuff that are cost effective, and it'll be arranged by proximity. Yeah. So ideally, the items closer to them will be promoted to them first.
Awesome. Okay, that's really cool. Okay, cool. I like the concept. I think you've thought it through. Do you have any allergies or eating special like things? What is it called? Restrictions.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Restrictions or preferences. Fortunately, or I don't even want to say like that, I guess, but I do not really have any restrictions or preferences. However, I was aiming to um, go on a plant-based diet, and that's kind of what started me down this path. I watched
Mm,
Game Changers on Netflix. I think it's still on
okay.
there. And that just kind of dispelled a lot of myths around like where protein comes from. And
Yeah.
for like, if you want to stay fit or even be a bodybuilder, right, you don't actually have to consume meat to do that, right? And so,
Yeah.
um, and then there's also things like the diseases, like the increased risk of disease if you consume meat products. Don't want to focus too much on just that
Yeah.
dietary profile, but that's kind of what got me down this path. And so
Yeah.
I found it difficult to, because I was just kind of new to it. I wasn't sure, like I didn't have any go-to restaurants that I knew of already that would, provide those meals. And I wasn't sure how to make those kind of meals at home for myself. So
Okay.
I was trying out a lot of restaurants at first, and the challenges I experienced in that process were kind of what birthed the idea.
Awesome, awesome. So will the platform also give you recipes if you're trying a new lifestyle? Would it give you recipes according to that lifestyle?
I think that's a feature that we may incorporate down the line
Okay.
for the initial launch of the product.
Yeah.
It's meant to just it's meant to just disclose the ingredients in different restaurant menu offerings,
Yeah.
but it will also have or portray a nutrition chart. So basically, like when you look on the back of a grocery product or label, right, it has the nutrition facts.
Yeah.
So this will be the equivalent of the nutrition facts, but for restaurant menu options. And
Yeah.
so we'll be able to do that by whenever I build out the ingredient menus with the restaurants, they'll also be disclosing the volumes. And this
Hmm.
information won't be made public It'll just be held on the back end as far as the volumes of the ingredients. And we'll use that to calculate exactly like the calories or the sugars or the carbs per gram
Yeah.
or liter or whatever have you of each of these ingredients, and then put together that nutrition chart for every single restaurant menu. So the diners will be able to track their nutrient intake as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool. All right. So what is your long-term vision for the business? What's the end goal?
Well, ideally, I want to be able to partner with every single restaurant in the world, and because that'll just give, of course, the diners a lot more variety to choose from, and a lot more power in their hands. But then also the restaurants will that'll put more diners on the platform as well, and so the restaurants will be able to benefit from a boost in customer traffic. I
Yeah.
really want to, especially considering customer traffic, help out small businesses or small restaurants.
Mm,
Because one of my first vendor subscribers or restaurants that expressed interest in being having their menu hosted on the platform, I
yeah.
recently found out that she went out of business, and because she didn't have enough customer traffic to keep her afloat. Great
Wow.
lady from Detroit, recently moved here, and I think she had like a healthy eats small business that a lot of people would have appreciated had they been aware. And so
Yeah.
that's kind of what I want to do, right? Is promote that awareness of these different options to the general public, and then help these restaurants, especially small businesses, again stay afloat and gain customer traffic. Long term, I think by exposing, because those were a little bit more short term, but long term, by exposing the greater demand for these diet specific foods, um, then I hope to increase the supply as well. And because the restaurants will see what these people want and make more to cater towards that. But then
Yeah.
also, especially for like the meatless case, right, or for plant based options, if we show the greater demand for meatless foods and the commensurate reduced, I guess, perceived demand by the industry, then I hope to um, improve the conditions for these animals that were in the slaughterhouses and farmhouses, and just kind of improve the conditions for the animals. And then there's a lot of deforestation that happens. They have to clear forests to have these farms, and so there's a lot of results in environmental damage, right? So reduce the deforestation, and then the animals, of course, produce methane gases that pollute the air. And so
Yeah.
there's a lot of also environmental impact that I'm hoping to have in the long run as well.
Okay, I love that. I love that you're looking out for, beyond the food, like, the environmental side. No one really pays attention to that when you talk about food. I know I don't. So it's
Yeah.
nice that you pay attention to that and you want to, branch over to that as well. That's cool. That's really cool.
Thanks.
So yeah, what are some of your biggest challenges to solve at the moment?
So right now I'm fundraising for product development. I might have mentioned kind of why I'm on hustle wing, because I'm in between jobs, right? At least
Yeah.
full-time salary jobs. And
Mhm.
so I'm really in no place to bootstrap this idea with my own money. And so I'm going for pitch competitions and
Yeah.
grants, whatever I can before maybe having to get loans or
Yeah.
credit lines. But um, with beyond product development, I also want to like I'm working on building like a subscriber list, so I can. And the challenge therein is so I can like show restaurants, like I can market the product to restaurants and be like, hey, these are how many diners have indicated their interest or their dietary restrictions in this area. So since I've found that you have these menu offerings that cater to them, you can
Yeah.
maybe expect X additional customers per month, right?
Yeah.
And so I want to just kind of develop those metrics, so I
Mm.
can make it more marketable to the restaurants and get them to
Yeah.
sign on. And then even the other way around, right? If I can get more vendor subscribers as well, I can take it to my diner subscribers and say, hey, like these are the restaurants that have already indicated that they're willing to be hosted on the menu. These are their different diet. These are the different diets that they cater to, and so this is what you can expect in terms of having additional options or food options to eat from. So
Yeah.
that's kind of my other main challenge right now beyond developing the product
Yeah.
is just showing that traction to gain subscribers on either side.
Yeah. Awesome. So do you have a technical background? Like, have you started developing the product yet?
Um, ironically, I do have a technical background, but
Okay.
I'm not like knowledgeable enough around web app development and APIs specifically
Okay.
because a key to this is I have I said key, pun intended, I guess, but I have the API key
Ooh.
to the FDA has like this food database or ingredient database. So
Okay.
that's what we're going to use to basically map different ingredients to overarching categories like shrimp is seafood, for example.
Yeah.
But then also that database has the nutrients associated with each ingredient as well. So like the calories
Mm.
per gram or
Yeah.
the sugars or carbs or whatever have you. So that database and that API key, right, are key or crucial to developing the product. And so I'm kind of seeking a more technically proficient person, especially in web development APIs, to help me out with building that out. But yeah,
Awesome.
I did
Awesome.
study mechanical engineering and computer science. So I guess I do have a technical background, but I am seeking some assistance with it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're not gonna do everything all on your own, so you definitely, it's worth mentioning that you are looking for assistance with tech, even if you have a technical background. Like no one's expecting you to be an all-rounder, so it's
Yeah.
good that
Well,
you're able to recognize that, this is where my skill set ends and this is where I need assistance and stuff. That's the only way you're ever gonna progress and make anything worthwhile, to be honest.
yeah, definitely I like to lean on experts, but learn from them as well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. I like that. All right. So, what sort of help would you need from, or would you be open to collaborating? I guess is the next segue with
Hmm.
people in our community.
Yeah. So, oh, I don't know if you heard that. Anyways, there was so I guess like the product development side of things, right? I mentioned web developer expertise, but also with like I guess developing campaigns, especially like making marketing. I think I'm definitely going to need some digital campaigns down the line because I mentioned being here from Texas, but
Mhm.
obviously I want to expand this beyond just Texas, right? And ideally beyond just the United States.
Yeah.
So that'll definitely involve some digital marketing campaigns that is also not, at least at this point in time, my strong suit
Yeah.
or my forte. So, and then kind of in tandem with that, maybe just running my strategy of how to best build the vendor subscribers and the diner subscribers. Like I have a Google form right now, and I'm trying to go out to like different I don't know, networking events or maybe trade shows or
Yeah.
there's probably better ways I can go about it, right? And that's kind of what I want to do is strategize with an expert in that area so I can yeah, I guess maximize my impact.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Well, yeah, I think, I love the idea. I definitely feel like, people that have dietary requirements are definitely looked over. Like, remember there was a fad where everyone was banting, and then there was like banting things on the menu. I no longer see banting items anymore because no one talks
Bands,
about banting, even though there still are people that have the banting diet. So, and
huh?
the vegetarian option is like one or two things. So it would be nice to,
Yeah,
you know make restaurants aware that there are these people and they want to go out and they want to eat. You just need to cater for them, and maybe you
yeah,
need to branch out as to like not just making a random pasta with like lemon sauce and get
yeah.
fun with it.
Yeah, and I like how you mentioned like the local aspect of it is key, right? And so I also need to, or I want to figure out a way where I can show restaurants like, I'm in Houston, but I want to be able to show someone in LA or New York,
Mm,
right? That like, hey, this is the demographic of dieters in your area, right?
Yeah.
And so they know what to expect, locally and not just, like someone in New York isn't going to care that someone in Houston is vegan, right? So, or a restaurant in New York, I mean, so that's
Yeah.
why, like, yeah, I want to kind of build that in and show those metrics
Yeah.
by locale. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much for your time, Godson. I really love the idea and thank you for sharing it with us. And I truly do wish you all the best in future.
Thank you very much, Izzy. It was lovely talking with you, and I'm gonna look into that Banting thing earlier. I wasn't sure what that was, so that'll be
Oh, yeah, it's
really
like
cool. Yeah.
it was a fad a couple of years ago. Like all my friends were on it. It seemed like a lot. So, but it was at some point in all the restaurants like there was like one banting thing, and then I noticed recently that there's no longer the banting thing. Like I don't see that anymore. So, yeah,
Wow.
it was just one of those diets, I guess. But yeah, I'm willing to make a bet though. If you're willing to
Hmm.
bet, I'm willing to
Yeah.
make a bet that the lactose intolerant people will be the least because, like,
Mm.
all the lactose intolerant people I know do not pay attention to their lactose intolerance.
Yeah, they just eat. Yeah, they eat a lot of dairy stuff, anyways. I can attest to that as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. eh,
I guess we'll see. We'll see what the numbers say. But thank you again,
exactly.
and
Yeah.
and I hope you have a great day.
Thanks. Likewise. Take care, Izzy.
Thanks, you too. Awesome. That was